Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to talk a little bit today about getting prepared for the next project, which is going to be making making a cartoon character. And so we're going to talk about making symbols and nesting those symbols. Now, this is a super important concept for using Adobe Animate because when you nest symbols, it allows you to make much more complex animations, but make them easily. All right, so you'll want to open Adobe Animate and open a new project. Click Full HD. Okay, it's going slow. There it is. Okay, and wait for it. All right, and as always, one of the first things that we'll do, and if your workspace doesn't look like mine, you might want to go over here to the workspaces and set yours to whichever you like. Some people prefer the animator, but I like the classic one, especially with working with one monitor, one screen. Okay. Come over to your document settings, 1920 by 1080, and then I'll always change my frames per second to 24, okay, which is very traditional. I'll double click the hand, and that kind of makes the stage fill the work area. And I'll just start creating symbols. So as we did in the last Zoom, we actually used the oval tool to create a cartoon character. And so what we started with was, let's start with the head shape. So I'll change my color to green because I'm going to make an alien. And I will turn my stroke off. And I will draw the head shape. And by adding another circle over here, I can put an ear. Perfect. So then I'd go get my selection tool, or V on the keyboard, select that head shape, and on your keyboard, press F8. And that is the Convert to Symbol dialog box. And make sure that you're choosing graphic. Okay, there's three types of symbols that you can create in this software, but graphics is almost exclusively what we're going to use. Okay, and make sure to name your symbols properly. Click OK. Don't worry about any of the advanced settings. We don't really use them in this class. Okay, most of this stuff is for interactive stuff, game stuff. So we don't even bother about it. And registration, again, don't worry about it. It's really, you don't need to worry. All right, and as you can see, the symbol now has a blue bounding box around it. Okay, and over in the properties panel, you can see that our object right here is a graphic symbol. And you can switch it, but we don't want to. Leave it alone. Okay, it gives you its position and size, not really important, and then we can add color effects later, like brightness, tint, advanced, and alpha. But again, we're not worried about that right now. We're just going to do straight graphics. Okay, and you really don't need anything else. And as you can see, there's lip syncing down below and a frame picker, but we don't need to worry about that. We'll do that in a completely different assignment on lip syncing. Okay, so if you double click a symbol, you can go inside of it, and you can see you're inside of it right here. Okay, this is where I'm keep circling. This is our breadcrumb trail to let us know where we are. And that's really super important because it's pretty easy to get a little bit lost. Oops. It's pretty easy to get a little bit lost in the software and not know exactly where you are. So in order to know where you are, they provide a breadcrumb trail. Scene 1 up here, if you click it, brings you back to your main timeline. I wish they would change the name of that from Scene 1. But there you have it. All right, and so double click, and as you can see, we are inside alien head symbol. And one of the cool things, and this will come up again and again and again, is that when you create a symbol, you are essentially creating an entirely new movie inside of that symbol, because you get a whole new set of layers and a whole new set of frames. And this is why we make symbols, so that we can put symbols inside of symbols inside of symbols, and then have graphics and or animation inside of symbols. And when we nest a symbol, which means putting another symbol inside of another symbol, we can actually create really interesting nested animations. And we'll go down deeply into this after we get through the drawing phase of the class. Okay. So as you can see, I've got a symbol, and now I'm going to create the nose. So go back, get my oval tool, and I'll draw a nose. V on the keyboard, and I'm going to pull and push the shape until it looks kind of the way I want it to. Okay, and I actually might even make it a slightly different color so that it stands out, right? So that it stands out against the back of the head. So I'll click that, come over here to the color wheel, and maybe go down a little bit so that the nose is a slightly darker version. Okay, F8 on the keyboard. Alien nose, graphic symbol, click OK. And it doesn't stand out very well. Maybe I'll make it even a little darker. There we go. There we go. That'll really stand out. Okay. And you saw that I could edit that symbol by double-clicking and going inside. So for instance, if I wanted him to have a, I don't know, like a blue nose, you double-click your symbol, go inside, and change the color. Okay? And then step outside. Okay, pretty simple stuff. All right, and for instance, if I wanted to put a little shine on his nose, I might go get my brush tool, change it to white, and increase my brush size. Okay. Command Z, undo. Ooh, I don't like that one. Command Z, undo. Command, oh, again, don't like it. Command Z, undo. That's fine. Okay? And you start building your character this way. All right, I'm going to give him an eye. So a nice yellowy eye. Okay. I'll maybe make another copy of the yellow eye. Q on the keyboard. Scale it down. And then V on the keyboard. Make it black. Here we go. I don't know why it was doing that. Okay, there's the pupil. Deselect. Maybe get my brush again. Switch to white. And then put a little highlight in there. Cool, beautiful. Marquee the whole thing to select. F8. Alien eye. Okay, beautiful. All right, and last but not least, the mouth. Black. Make a circle. Get my selection tool, cut the circle in half, delete the half I don't want, and then use my selection tool to create a smile. Okay, select it, F8. Okay, and put it into place. And you'll notice, see this little thing where the mouth is actually on top of the nose? Well, obviously we don't want that. The nose is actually going to be above. So we can do something called Z sorting. You can either do that with layers, and I'll show you in just a minute, or you can actually just use your control key. Control, when you have a symbol selected, okay, and you can hold down your control key and then use your up and down arrows. You'll see that when I control down, that allowed me to Z-sort, which is basically put the mouth symbol below the nose symbol. All right, so now this head, when we animate this guy, this head, really all the pieces should just stay together. So the easiest way to do that is to do what we call nesting. Okay, and that gives us a lot of advantages. We'll do this a lot throughout the class. Everything is kind of based on it. Learning how to do it, and then learning how to manipulate graphics that have been nested multiple times. Okay, so what I would typically do when I'm building a character is I would take all these body parts, all these head parts, and then nest them into another symbol called alien head. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. The background head, the eye, the mouth, and the nose. So what you can do is you can actually highlight them. Okay, so yeah, I have all 4 selected, and then press F8 again. And I'm going to call it alien nested head. And I want to be really, really detailed about the way I name things, so that if someone else is using my file, they can sort of figure out, they can look through my library, which I'll talk about in just a minute. They can look at my library and see where everything is, what everything is, and it's pretty easy to find things. Click OK. So now, as you can see, I have one bounding box, and the head can be moved around. Okay, so that means the eye and the nose and the mouth and the head shape all stay together, so that if I'm going to animate my character walking like this, for example, I don't have to animate all these pieces separately. Okay, I can just move this one head and all the pieces come with it. All right, so here's the tricky thing. So double click. Now double click the symbol. Click, click. There you go. Now we are inside, as you can see, alien nested head. So if I wanted to move the eye back or forward, I could. Okay. Or if I wanted to reposition the nose, for example, rotate it a little bit, I could. But here is also the cool thing, is when I highlight them and then right click on your mouse, okay, and it brings the drop down menu. Notice I have I right click anywhere on the symbols. Okay, I have them all selected and I right click on them and distribute to layers right down here. Click that. Oh, look at that. Let me get rid of that tool and go back to the regular selection tool. And let me open up my layers so you can see what I just did. Okay, you'll see here that alien head, alien mouth, alien nose, alien eye, and then layer 1 has nothing on it. As you can see, there's no keyframe. So I can just delete that layer because I don't need it. And as you can see, I can turn my layers on and off. There's the eye. Okay. And then I can move them up and down if I wanted the eye below the nose, or the mouth above the nose, or the head above everything else. I would do so. And you'll also notice that the software helped you, okay, because you went through the trouble of naming these, creating symbols and naming them. When you distributed them to layers, Adobe Animate tried to help you by making sure the layers were automatically named, the same things as your symbols. So again, another great reason why to do it this way. All right. And so also, let's go back to scene 1, or the main timeline, and you'll see that all those layers are gone. Well, they're not gone. They're inside here. And that's another reason why you want to start getting into nesting stuff. All right, so what we're going to do in the next project, what you're going to do, I should say, in the next project is you're going to create yourself a character, and you're going to draw that character, creating symbols for all the body parts. Okay, and I highly recommend that anything that you think you might animate, make it into a symbol, and then nest things accordingly. Like the head, nest all the pieces of the head into a symbol called the head. And the same thing with the body. Nest the arms and legs and hands into the whole body symbol. Okay. We'll talk about this in the next video, but I'll show you how to draw the whole character and scene, which is going to be your next project. All right. Thanks very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.